Hello, hope everybody's doing well this afternoon. This is a live stream from the home studio. Uh, Let me just do a couple of checks, make sure everything is proper and copacetic. All right, how's everybody doing today? Turn that down. Today. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Let's give people a chance to come in. I didn't play my intro. I'm not going through StreamYard. I'm not going through OBS.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hope everybody's doing well this Tuesday afternoon. Come say hi, Kai.
Oh,
My
right.
son Kai Kai Man is
Yeah.
here.
What's up, everyone?
It's the Kai Kai Man
And Neon Ski Reel.
and the kitty cat Neon Skurril.
Yeah.
Good job, man.
Thanks.
So yeah, we're just enjoying the evening. Kai just went live. He did his YouTube. I want his neural feedback on YouTube. I want you to check out his channel at youtube.com/Kai Lockett. And let me see, what can I do here? Yeah, I guess I can share it, right? That'll work. So yeah, well, let's call in. We can talk about current events. Don't feel ashamed of saying the things that people don't necessarily want to hear. I'm still in mourning. I'm still in mourning my brother Aldine, who passed away this week. So it is what it is, and but we can talk about what's happening in the political scene in the world. Talk about what's happening all over the world. We can talk about Putin. We can talk about Russia. We can talk about Ukraine. We can talk about the vax. We can talk about COVID. We can talk about anything. I don't care. Okay, I don't care. Um, we can talk about mold device. Right, that's what you need right there. You need a little mold device. Right. Yeah. So anyway, I hope everybody's having a great day. I've been doing a lot of brain training lately, getting back into the shift. Each time you shift, it's easier and easier. Actually, the first time you shift is the only time you really have to worry about. Every time after that, you're just kind of catching up. It only takes a couple of sessions to do that. But I'm going to go the whole 20. I'm going to go the whole 20 and see if I can get provoke another shift at such a high frequency. I posted a couple of actually. Let me put the link in the chat so that you guys can join me. Excuse that cough. Um, yeah, let's see if I can. If I post it here, if the link would work. Yeah, perhaps, perhaps. Yes, exactly. When I post it from online, the link does work. Coolness. So, how do you guys feel about this current political climate that we're in? Call in and let's talk about it. How do you feel about the manosphere, the black manosphere, and the things that are happening online that are changing our society, that are changing the way we view the world and the way we view each other? These are important questions to ask. So we're going to try to talk about that. Peace to whoever it is that I have online watching. I really appreciate that. Like I said, follow the link. Feel free to join me. Um, I'll add you to the show. Let's see how many people I can get in here. This is crazy.
Special treatment because you're LGBT. I mean, come on. You should be treated the same, right? Kind of take the character, not color the skin, or
Yeah, it's really crazy. Hope everybody is doing well this evening.
This guy doesn't even live on this planet. He doesn't even understand what's going on. I don't listen to my radio in years.
Everybody's live. I'm picking the wrong time to go live.
It was the same thing. And it wouldn't stop.
I'm not ignoring you now. I'm just checking out what's on right now. I'm just checking out what's on right now. That's all. Getting a feel for these YouTube streets. So you ever wonder why everybody is still being encouraged to take the G, the J, even though the beer bug is kind of over right now? Isn't that kind of curious, right? It's kind of curious.
That's what this brother did. Now, he says that he needs a calendar. The Israelites did not use a calendar. They used the time in the dating of the king.
Yes, yes, yes.
This is, I'm loving it, guys. You guys are fast. Lexicon, God of the
All right, all right, all right. Just having fun. I might actually end up deleting this one afterwards, depending on if I get some interesting people in.
It's the fact that this channel has not really evolved. It's the same stuff. I think people are at this point, and I mentioned this last week when I talked about Jimmy Dore now has one.
Nope. Boring. So anyway, thank you very much for joining. Everything is going great. We've got the first um, return to neurofeedback training, which is very valuable. You need to check out um, Kai Lockett on YouTube, youtube.com/KAILOCKETT, and check us out. Check him out. I think he's getting ready to go live right now doing some gaming. And he went live just a short time ago um, doing his neurofeedback. So anyway, thank you guys. Not really much to discuss. Um, I was gonna. Let's see. Wow. So evidently, my link's not working here on what you call them. Let's see. Okay. All right. So anyway, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for joining. I really appreciate it. Doesn't seem like anybody wants to call in, and I didn't really prepare any notes to talk about current events today, to tell you the truth. So just enjoying life, having a great time. I want everybody to stay kind. Oh, who we have here? There it is. There's my friend. Marco, what's up, bro?
How you doing?
All right, you saving me from signing out, man. How's it going, man?
Oh, all right. Just is this being recorded?
Well, it's live. I mean, I can delete it as soon as it's over.
Oh, okay. Then that means maybe it's better not to record it because that way we can say whatever we want, right?
Yeah. At the end, when it's over, you can always just delete, so that it doesn't
Okay.
stay.
So how are you now? How are you doing?
I'm all right, man. I'm hanging in there. My brother passed, right?
I know.
Yeah. That's a heartbreaker, and the family is reacting the same way that the family reacts. When my father passed, I came to the realization that I don't know about everybody else's family, but my family, I think it's best if we all separate when it's time to mourn. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
I think a lot of families are that way. I think
absolutely. So my family, some people try to sort of cling together for some reason, but then kind of split apart as well too. There's the thing is, the truth of the matter is, when you go, or when anyone goes, no one can really replace you, right? So the thing is, when someone passes away, we try to sort of find it in someone else who isn't there, and then we end up just clinging onto other people. Yeah.
That's exactly right. And I love my brother to death, but he was enmeshed, in ways that, culturally appropriate for New Orleans, right? I mean, we come from a very old culture, and seeing the way my son interacts with his mom in Spain, right? My oldest son, I could understand, that Mediterranean kind of enmeshment, family enmeshment.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm a good old fashioned American individual. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah.
I think I'm probably not probably. I'm definitely the only one of my siblings that's actually achieved the state of individual.
Yeah. So you're like the crazy uncle that left.
Right.
So am I.
Exactly.
So am I. But you know what? I think the younger kids understand.
They don't want you to corrupt the kids, though.
Yeah. But it's actually the younger kids. The preteen, the teens. That's sort of Devlin's. Oh, my uncle's cool.
Right. And then when you come in town and they want to talk to you and they want to tell you,
he gets it.
Yeah. They want to tell you how individuated they are. You know what I mean? I would agree with that. Me neither.
My uncle gets it. That's why he left.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the same. It's the same, man. And I'm looking, and honestly, I don't know. I don't know the situation with my younger brother and my mom, right? I don't know because I don't live there, so I don't know the relationship that they have, But what I do know is that up until yesterday, actually, what was it? Monday. Today is Wednesday, right? Yeah. Up until the day before yesterday, nobody. No. It was Tuesday. It was yesterday. Up until yesterday, nobody even announced my brother's arrangements.
Oh.
Yeah. And
okay.
Yeah, and so that's why you see the picture that I have on my page, on my Facebook page. It's got over 100 likes and responses because no one knew. No one had heard anything. No one knew, and my brother was very well liked, man. Actually, he was loved. He was the kind of guy that everybody loved. And
so what? Just nobody stepped up to tell everyone, or what?
No, nobody stepped up.
Oh.
Nobody stepped up. And I guess nobody felt that it was their place. But if his services would have come and gone this coming Saturday in an empty church, that's not right, man.
No, I think okay. I mean,
we grew up in a subdivision called Pontchartrain Park. It was the first black subdivision in the state of Louisiana, actually. Yeah, and middle class homeowner subdivision, whatever. Yeah. And it's pretty big. I mean, it's where the campus of Southern University of New Orleans is, right? It's pretty big. It's pretty big, right off of Lake Pontchartrain, and the church, St. Gabriel Church, is right in the middle of Pontchartrain Park, right? Yeah. So that was the church we all went to, where my brother's services are. That's the church where I sang in the choir at, Yeah. And so, yeah, I mean, to not let everybody know is just wrong.
It saddens me really because look, okay, it's really easy to sort of say, oh, they failed and this and that, but the thing is, there's a kind of social societal collapse in some ways that's taking place everywhere, right? People are not knowing how to step up anymore. People are not comfortable standing up, and being themselves. So
because we lost freedom of speech, we lost freedom of expression.
Exactly. No, we lost guts and balls, man.
We lost guts and balls because seriously, we don't. I've already lost channels, right? I've already lost 2 YouTube channels, and I can understand how people are hesitant because once the line has been removed, you don't know where the new line is.
Yeah, exactly. They're not comfortable sort of just stepping on being themselves anymore, And then the thing is, I think what's kind of ruined it is how easy it is for people to hide behind this behind the modem and shit. But I think
to rat on the authorities. They know, instead of saying, "Oh my God, why are we under this ominous Big Brother bullshit right now?" They're thinking, going, "Oh yeah, now I can finally sick him on him. So I can finally throw him down because he's always been radical and thinks for himself and shit."
So the thing that's happening online is kind of spilling into the real world, right? But we kind of have to figure out how to get back to what life was like without this.
I know, brother.
Otherwise, this thing's ruining everything and stepping in the way of everything. So
really, man, and freedom is not. It's not in degrees. It's absolute. It's very absolute.
No, it really is. And then the thing is though, when we talk about when you're talking about freedom, freedom as if it was a concept or an ideal, but it's actually just about being yourself, being who you are, right? And so it's actually, we're talking about life. We're talking about personal life now.
Just the absence of tyranny, just the absence of stifling, just the absence of.
Man, I mean, I feel it here as well too. Even in this part of the world. Well, particularly because I mean, nowadays people are too busy to give a thought to anything, and not only that, when they have a thought, they're not sure whether it's a valid thought because they've gotten used to saying the only look we have the thought, you just think it, you just agree with it, don't even question it, right?
Yeah.
But it's making people dumb in a way that they don't know how to live and react
Absolutely.
anymore.
You can't function. You can't trivialize that level. You can't trivialize your basic freedoms.
No.
And life is going to be okay after that.
No, yeah, seriously, yeah. I mean, look, I think most people, what they're doing is they're just kind of not showing it. Okay, I got you. You don't want to be controversial. You don't want to get into an argument with anyone. Okay, fine, keep it to yourself. But the problem is, though, in doing so, they're not even sure when to show it, right? Because you still need to be able to show it, right?
Right.
You still need to show your thoughts, and then you get into a state where you have people saying, well, you're actually going to be real, right? Are you allowed to do that? Who told you could be real? You know what I mean? And it's ruining a lot of lives, man. Something's had to break with this,
Something's got to break, and what I'm thinking is break is the right word, bro, because I think it's going to be drastic. It can't just be. It's not going to just like subside slowly, and then oh wow, look, all of a sudden we're free again. Like COVID. It's not going to just it's not just going to like slime slither away. It's going to have to be something big that happens.
First of all, it happens on a personal level. I mean, you can always keep it. This is what the parallels is probably something like what you see with life under communist in the USSR, Solzhenitsyn or something like that, where basically they've gone through a process of dehumanization. I mean, look at this, man. What I'm hearing right now from some people is that if I don't like what the West is saying about Russia right now, you're like a Putin lover. It's like, what the Putin lover? What's a Putin lover, right?
I don't know Putin, right? You can't, and you know what? That makes me start probing. Yeah. Because I'm like, well, wait a minute, man. I mean, Russia's always been our enemy all of my life.
Exactly.
So why? We used to watch Bullwinkle with Boris and Natasha on the cartoon. Russia's always the enemy, man.
Yeah. But the point also even worse is like if you don't really agree with going there and attacking, right? Or you don't agree with spending $7 more for gas or something like that, right? Then you're a bad person. It's like, wait, that's fucking twisted because what you're saying is that we should be for the annihilation of millions of people,
or we should be for putting ourselves at risk of getting nuked.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, well, these are people who are sitting behind keyboards in the office desk who aren't going to go there. They're going there. How brave it is for them to say, they're not injured. They're not going to get bombed. It's just fucking insane.
It's insane. Let me flip the chicken. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Flip it. Nah, it's done. Chicken's done, guys. Perfect. Yeah. Chocolate milk. But yeah, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. I'm going through that phase now with the new health center that I got to go through. I didn't realize all of the stuff that I did since 1995 when I opened up the Old House Center up until now. And now I got to change all of that.
What do you
You
mean?
know,
Like,
Google, yeah, of course. I changed the address and everything in Google the first week. I actually changed Google before I moved, like a week before I moved, right?
okay.
Yahoo, every search engine,
Oh,
every listing, you know what I mean? You got to
okay.
do that because every little bit, everywhere you're placed on the web leads people to you. You know what I mean?
Oh, I see. So you're sort of your digital footprint. There's a lot of work to do.
Yes,
So it's like moving. Yeah.
yes. Until
Yeah.
you digitally move,
Yeah.
you're going to be sitting there going, "Where is everybody? Where are all my
Yeah.
clients?
So
Where are all the customers?" You know what I mean?
yeah. I'm having trouble getting into this, Devin. I don't know if I'm realizing where it needs to go, and stuff like that. But I'm having trouble buying into this new world, to be honest with you. I mean, I admire that you're actually putting up a fight and going after it, right? At the moment, I'm not feeling inspired about it. You know what I mean? And it's like, if I can find, I'm tending to do things more local now, than it is than online. Like, I have a friend who doesn't even have a Facebook account, right?
Really?
Yeah, I have some friends. I have a few friends.
Wise. It's
Yeah,
wise. No, it's wise because like I said, I don't even have TV. I mean, I have televisions in every room, but I'm not hooked up to cable or anything.
Yeah.
I don't want to know. I mean, the entertainment programming is full of agendas.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and
the
news is
I saw Batman. I just saw the movie Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty good actually. A lot of very, very dramatic with Zoe Kravitz and this other Batman. But very, very. The music was really, really good quality, heavy music and the drama was good and the storylines were good.
So who's gay? Who's gay in this one?
Yeah, right. So I mean, some of them are gay for sure, and then, but
who's openly gay in Batman? I'm sure. Did they make Batman gay this time, or did Robin finally come out of the closet?
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. What the movie and what I really got, watching and stuff like that, man. The media is actually instilling so much ideas about unfairness, oppression, revenge, hatred, rage, violence, all this stuff, man. And then this weird sort of heroism against all of this, but he's part of the cycle and stuff like that. It's conflicted whether it's like I'm not feeling that enraged or vengeful towards anybody, right?
Yeah.
But it's like I'm supposed to. That's what it feels like. If you're not feeling vengeful or hateful, maybe you're one of the bad guys, right?
Yeah.
But I'm not, though.
The thing is, right? If you got this machine, right, this media machine, and now it includes this, right? It includes everything. It includes the cell and everything else, right? And or at least you feel confident that you have the power to manipulate the public, because that's all this was, right? Let's look at and see how many people walk around with masks on. Let's see how many people were willing to take this into their body. You know what I mean? And if that is the case, then why don't you wield that
for governance,
for positive things toward the betterment, right?
I mean, no, that's exactly it. I mean, I think they believe, most of these people believe they're doing this for a positive thing. They believe that their agenda is positive, right? So therefore, it justifies justifies anything anything factual, right?
Because any kind of mind screw, kind of
because we're trying to prevent the Earth from boiling up into a greenhouse. Therefore, we'll fuck with his head, right?
Yeah, everybody this is a deplorable. So
because they're bad guys and they're just gonna ruin the world. So therefore, we're good people. fuck them up. I don't care. That's a good thing to do. You know.
Right, right. Oh, they're Nazis anyway.
Yeah.
So,
No, seriously. I mean, that's what it comes down to. This is what I'm hearing from people too. You know, they think they're on the good side, so it gives them license to.
well, see, that's what the Frankfurt School intention was, right?
Oh yeah, totally.
Indoctrinate the kids from a very young age, and then it's on autopilot. Then you have a whole generation that's doing what they think is the right thing, all the while destroying the society.
So what they end up with is some sort of kind of a manufactured consensus,
right,
along a critical mass that's sort of like in the upper middle right kind of thing, right? So these would be like the people the responsible people you like, your neighbors, you know, and then they just cast away anything that's not in there as if they were in the fringe, you know. The problem is it has nothing to do with truthfulness, right?
No, it doesn't. It's really sad.
Yeah.
It has to do with the will of the king. It has to do with the whim of whoever. Now you can talk about you can speak positively about Nazis on Facebook because the people who are fighting the Russians in Ukraine are Nazis.
Right. So basically, there's no real sort of spine, right?
Exactly.
There's no spine. There's all relative.
There's no foundation. There's nothing.
Yeah. It's just kind of relative. It's just whatever sort of like whatever the important thing is they expect you to just obey what today's scenario brings, right?
Even if
the problem with that is you don't know what it's going to be tomorrow.
Right. And without a television, I never get the memo.
You're right.
Man, I don't know what I'm supposed to believe or what people believe.
No. I mean, you could be on the losing end next week, right? You know?
Yeah, exactly. So I don't even think about it. I just hey, if people get offended, let them get offended.
That's the way to go.
Yeah. Let them do what they're gonna do.
Yeah. So I think though it does impact, you know, like you say, you know, your relationships, personal relationships, even with people you've grown up with, you know.
Yeah.
So how are things going with Kai in that situation? Everything good?
Oh man, can you believe my daughter is involved?
Oh no, okay, because she's on the girl side.
Of course, she's taking advantage of the fact that my daughter's been desperate for a mommy, right, ever since her mommy passed.
Oh, so wait, so your daughter's siding with Chia?
Yeah. She tripped that, right?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, because I'm alive, you could always come back to me, right? You know what I mean? Right. But you know, Chia basically touted herself as a replacement mom and took advantage of how desperate she is for a mom.
Right. Yeah, I guess see that's part of that's a part of the whole thing, man. You don't really have to be a good person. You just look like you could actually be sort of how should I say picked on and victimized by someone, right?
Of course, a victim, right? Exactly. Yeah. Virtue in standing there and taking abuse. You know what I mean?
Just take abuse is what. Oh, I'm so good because I'm taking so much abuse, right?
and the thing is, right? Who wants to abuse anyone?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, who's there to get out of that? You know, I mean, from a psychological level,
it's someone who appreciates abuse. Obviously,
it has to be, right? It has to be.
Totally.
At the end of the day, I mean, no matter how frustrated I can get about any number of things that are happening in my life, the result is never to see another person suffer.
Right. I mean,
that's not going to relieve anything in me.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's not going to give me anything. In fact, it's going to reinforce that the world is an unhealthy and unfriendly place.
Right.
Because even if you're causing the suffering, you're still seeing it happen to someone.
Right.
You're still witnessing it. I just don't get it. The whole mischaracterization of, and that's kind of why, you know, I'm a public figure, you know, because we live in a society, especially as a black man, you know, what really blindsides you is going from boy to man as a Black American. Because when you're a boy, you're just a boy like every other boy. And and maybe people might think that you're better at sports, which is never has been true in my case. But maybe people might think that about you, but that's about it. But then once you become a man, you get all of these tropes and all of these stereotypes thrown at you. And even if you bounce it off, you never realize the power there is in the accusation.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And it's like, well, you see me online just about every single day on 3 channels. I represent myself as who I am authentically. Everyone knows exactly where to find me at any given time of the day because I advertise that, and I'm sitting in that office all day. And you can always stop by and talk to me face to face. And you see what I do to make money. Now, there's only 24 hours in a day. I don't even have time to have a sinister alter ego.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And so how could it be easy for someone to point and throw basically racist accusations at me when I'm a public figure and everything you see about my character is obvious and it's displayed to the world on a daily basis, you know? But, you know.
Oh, wait, so basically, let me see if I get this right. Basically they're painting you in a particular way.
The color purple. They're painting me the color purple.
Right, exactly. Towards whom?
I'm Mr. in the color purple.
Uh-huh.
Well, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, but for whom? For what? I mean, for whose audience? For to whom?
Well, what they're trying to say is, oh well, you know, well, he's a bad parent to Kai. Well, that's.
Oh, okay, to Kai, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, to Kai.
It's kind of hard to do, right? Proving that is kind of hard to do. Yeah. You know, especially if you scroll down my Facebook and I mean, he's here right now. I mean, that's kind of a hard thing to prove. And, I'm damn near a scout leader with the boy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I used to be a scout leader with the boy. You know, I actually started a scout troop just for my son because that was severe, right?
Yeah.
So I really, if I know that someone is calling me fill in the trope, right? You know, any of the Pookie and Ray Ray gangbanger or whatever, any of the nigga tropes and shit, I know it's ridiculous. I know it's absurd, but you'd be surprised who's willing to believe that.
No, I mean, people, just here's the thing, right? People will pick up things that they want to pick up for whatever reason they want to pick it up for. It's for the reason, not for the actual validity of that issue, right? So basically, if they feel like, for some reason, I want to hurt Devin or something, right? So they'll pick up some statement that says, Devin smokes crack or something, right?
Right. And what's deep was really underneath that, especially as far as Chia is concerned, is because she's learned to get her needs met from an early age by making everybody feel sorry for her. That's right. That's what it is to be a refugee.
Well, right? I mean, that's the going currency nowadays.
Right, it's the going currency for nowadays too, right? Yeah, nowadays victimization, is virtue.
Yeah, it's a whole marketplace for this. Yeah.
A whole marketplace. And so she recognizes that her humility is her strength. Her humility is her power. She's a little brown woman who knows her place. And so therefore she gets acceptance. That's why she's a Mormon, right? Because she gets acceptance from racist white people because she's a little brown woman who knows her place.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah. And so she thinks it's love.
She thinks it's love. And she's also keenly aware of American society enough to know that the same white folks that love the humble little brown woman who knows her place hate a nigga like me, right? That's easy to see. You see what I'm saying? And so they're looking for the opportunity to take that arrogant entrepreneur down a couple of pegs. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You see? And so what she's doing is she's saying, well, if you appreciate me and all of my obsedence, right? Then
you know, this is where actually comedy can kind of actually be really good.
Oh, comedy will be really good observing that.
What you're saying there, right, is probably, you know, it's not likely to be confined to you and Chia in here, right?
Oh,
basically, you'll see it all over the place, right?
Society, yeah.
So basically, you can actually point it out in other places, right?
Well, yeah, all of the black Democrats, they don't realize it. They while they think they're fighting the power, right?
Yeah.
And then pulling everybody along with them, you know, the LGBs and all the rest of that. While they think that's what they're doing, they are more conformist than anybody.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And the conservatives that they are being told are the so-called racists, they're just waiting for black folks to love themselves enough to fucking stop bitching and whining and start eating a piece of the American pie like everybody else.
Yeah.
They're just waiting for them to have enough dignity and self to say, hey, well, you know what? You know, maybe you don't need a hand, right? Maybe you are actually equal. Maybe you have already achieved that equality, right? That you're singing about. Maybe you have already overcome. Yeah. Because so many people that look like us and many that don't are coming into have come. It's not even are coming. Have come into the country and turned what was a black-white society into such a rainbow.
Yeah.
That those issues are moot.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, I've seen Vietnamese families within one generation, you know, coming on boats. By the time the kids are grown up, I mean, they're
they're selling real estate.
Yeah, exactly. Or Koreans or I mean, yeah. But I think this movement that you're talking about, it's getting funding to do what it's doing, right? There's,
of course it is. Of course.
It's getting, you know, we're talking about, you know, it's also for power, man. It's a different game, right? These people, you know, they control tax revenue now, right? So they can shift a lot of resources in places, right? So they have power and money at the moment. They're being funded. The only thing is because that's the mix of demographics we have right now, right? I mean, I think I told you this in the last election too. It's the way Black America actually can determine the direction of this country, right? And that's what we're seeing there now too. You know, the thing is though,
swing vote.
Yeah, but the thing is though, you know, the Latin Americans that are coming in, right, in large quantities, they will likely dwarf all the other, you know, but yeah, all the other families. And I think they kind of a lot of these people in their calculus believe that most of these people will be voting for their agenda, right? So if we flood this with from El Salvador, you know, we are going to be Democrats forever, right?
yeah, like it worked in Cuba, right? Like it worked in Miami.
Exactly.
Right? Like it did in Miami. Exactly. You're gonna
but you see, they're kind of stupid. They don't. Half of these people, to be honest with you, half of these white people or liberals that are studying in school, they're like, what's wrong with communism, right? We just never tried it.
You're from a Catholic culture. I'm from a Catholic culture.
Exactly.
They don't realize how conservative we really are.
No, they don't realize how sick they look. You see?
They don't realize how sick they look.
They don't, you know? Yeah. And then they get offended. They go, I mean, they think they can just kind of brush it off, right? But I think that's in a few years they're going to have to hit them in the face what's going on too. So.
Thank you for not building the wall. Oh, you're welcome. So which one of your kids is going to be gay?
Not gay. Which one's going tranny? Who's going tranny?
Which one of your boys is going to wear a dress?
Your boy thinks a boy or what?
Ninguno, senor. Ninguno. Did your children choose their genders, or did you just tell them that when you?
Yeah, exactly.
This is retarded, man. It's just ridiculous.
It is. It's pretty retarded, but
that's why the story of Sodom and Gomorrah survived in the Bible.
Right. No, there's lessons there, man.
And they'll do it again.
Oh yeah, they will. They would do that.
They did it before, and they'll do it again. And the reason such wickedness struck down in the manner that it was, which kind of sounds like a nuke if you think about it, with the whole pillar of salt thing, was to emphasize exactly how destructive that kind of wickedness is.
So we've had these cycles before as well too. In fact, the 17th century France and England and whatever went through this process of doing this, and they were doing some really disgusting shit too, right? After that, we ended up with like a Victorian age, right? It was a total backlash from that because it does cause problems for a lot of people's lives, right? Yeah. It does, right? On top of that, some of the people they have on their side are trying to factor in overpopulation, right? So they believe that part of what they're tackling is not enough resources for too many people, right? And so, I mean, that's what I believe. What the LGBT stuff, the encouragement for LGBT is about not reproducing.
Population control.
Yeah, exactly. Don't reproduce, and also abortion. Don't reproduce, right? But what we may find in about 20, 30 years is more like a population collapse, right? You may not have enough people in certain places.
Well, now that we've got a large percentage of the population, right? Then that's probably what's going to happen, right?
So my problem with these people is that it's not that they're doing something valuable. It's like they don't know what the fuck they're doing. That's the whole issue.
No, they don't know. Wars, things like war is going to come upon them as if they had nothing to do with it. Of course, you had something to do with it because you were fucking stupid, right? You didn't manage it correctly, and don't act like it wasn't your fault, right? What I don't understand, man, is how many people back when they had the paranoia about Trump being a racist and all of that bullshit, they were voting in 2020 during that election. They were voting on social issues, right? Because if you're saying that he shouldn't be president because he's racist, and as though the president has I don't know, the right to declare slavery or something. You know what I mean? The power to, executive order and do something like, drastic against people of color.
I mean, some people actually believe that was even possible, right?
Of course they do.
I mean, it's America.
They're that stupid. They're that stupid. They're that stupid thinking that Trump is a racist, and if you vote him in, if he's the president, that we could wake up the next day and the cops would be out there with the paddy wagon rounding up all the black people and shit.
Right.
It's really asinine. Yeah. But they voted on that. That was their passion. Get him out of there. It was an anti-vote. It wasn't a pro-Biden vote. Nobody was fucking stupid enough.
So what I got? So what I got was that first of all, that's what the media said you should vote on, right?
Yeah.
And so it kind of strengthened the hand of the media, because the truth of the matter is, if they keep broadcasting that, Goebbels, Hitler's propaganda minister, was actually right. You keep repeating the same shit, people will believe it, right?
Yeah.
He's actually. Huh?
We got a comment from Bobby. Thank you, Bobby. Bobby Steele. He says genes are manipulated. Yeah, he's talking about the V. and some races are propped up to cause jealousy, divide and conquer, just one tactic. Yes, yes, yes. And
Wait. So someone's listening to us?
yeah, well, we're online, we're live.
What? Oh shit.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Bobby Steele's
hey,
is
Bobby.
Huh?
Why? Well, you should just jump in and talk. I mean,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Bobby, come on in, man. Hit the link. The link is right above you. It's a StreamYard link. Cam up because we're cammed up so that we don't have to worry about any trolling. But yeah, man. I mean, people actually believe the BS, and I think what's really bothering some people is that they're beginning to question the BS. I mean, and on top of that, make the damn connection, man. Stop voting with emotion. Stop voting because somebody got cooties or he's a racist or you know what I mean. Stop it.
I just look, man. I actually don't know any Ukrainians, right? Actually, I do. I do know some Ukrainians, right?
I do too, but I don't trust any of them. I'm just
but it's not like something like, oh, they attack Ukraine, therefore, we have to pay twice as much for gasoline now. We risk nuclear war. It's like, but then people are dying in America and we're not supposed to care. It's like, that level of stupidity, right?
The borders of Ukraine, but we can't defend our own border.
Yeah, I just that, and we're supposed, and if we question that, we're the bad guy, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's just crazy, man. I personally cannot live. I'm over 50, man. I cannot live without all of the freedoms that I grew up with intact.
Yeah,
I can't function as any other kind of person.
No, totally. Yeah.
I don't know how, and I'm not even inclined to try to figure it out. You know what I mean?
I mean, exactly. I mean, I'll see. I mean, this whole idea of new way of living is like, what are you talking about, right?
Yeah,
doesn't make sense. I mean, it's like.
Yeah, and he's right about that. Overpopulation is debunked as easily as taking a flight across the country and looking at all the unoccupied land. Oh yeah. This country is very open. I actually heard a stat that, and I'm not quite sure if it's true, but I actually heard a stat that said the entire world's human population could fit in Australia.
I heard Texas.
Texas?
Yeah.
Really? That we would be standing next to each other, but every human being.
Well, I don't know. Texas is pretty big, but yeah.
Yeah, Texas actually might be as big as Australia for all I know.
I mean, just size-wise and what have you,
Texas, yeah, that's what he said. Yeah.
I mean, it's true. You drive around most of the place. There's a lot of space and what. It's just the overpopulation thing is actually, and it's foolish because even in studies of other species, populations actually ebb and flow, right?
Yeah.
When you try to control it, like Japan is going through a population collapse right now.
Oh man.
A few years ago, there were fears that there are too many Japanese on one island, right?
Really?
But there's a certain. It was really weird. Like, so the Japanese people aren't even having sex or something. They're not reproducing or something. No, seriously, there's this weird thing. They're not. I mean, it might be
the land of hentai.
Yeah. So seriously, so. Maybe for me, maybe it's like a mass psychosis that hits some of this is psychosis. You know that.
Yeah.
It's an outlet for. It's almost like a how should I say a state sanctioned psychosis.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is. Yeah.
This guy's saying. Speaking of Texas, Bobby Steele, they're the victim of weather warfare right now, weather manipulation. Well, all I know is
weather.
Yeah, last night there were tornadoes in New Orleans.
I heard about that. Wow.
New Orleans has both hurricanes and tornadoes.
Wow. So does he think they're seeding clouds and causing storms?
Well, we got chemtrails already. I mean, I mean, how do we know how advanced that technology is? I think the population control is not about the threat of taking up all of the resources or taking up all of the space. I honestly believe that the elites
Oh,
they know of a lot of really cool technology that's on the
oh,
horizon.
good.
And you know how technology is, right? Remember the first pocket calculators were $260, and now you can get them at the dollar store, right? Right?
Uh-huh.
So, it starts off just for the early adapters. They got to pay 100 times as much as everybody else. But then as soon as either the patent runs out or something happens, all kind of copycats and knockoffs start popping up, and then that same technology is available to everywhere for a pretty cheap price, right?
Right.
And I got a feeling there's a lot of that they know about technology that could probably make death optional, or at least 90% of the illnesses that we know of optional. Bobby, come on in, man. Come on in and tell us what happened in Paradise, California. He's asking me what happened in Paradise, California. What happened in Paradise?
Was that a storm?
He's talking about weather manipulation.
Yeah. No, I mean, clearly the people, the elites. We're talking about the governments and the elites, the media, people who control stuff.
George Soros is the rich people.
Yeah, if you were there, if you worked out, if you did a risk analysis of what are the things that are of risk to you, an elite, right? I mean, of course, you would say, oh, okay, maybe there's a meteor or maybe there's an earthquake. But the fact of the matter is, 8 billion people. If you're an elite, 8 billion people is a threat to you, right?
Yeah. And you see, directed energy weapons. A lot of people believe that directed energy weapons is what pushed down the towers so quickly in 9/11.
Yeah, don't know about that. No.
That and the dynamite they had on every floor.
Right.
But I think, it's 8 billion people, and I got a feeling that they're still afraid. Like they said when they started the FBI, they're still afraid of the rise of the Black Messiah.
Oh, sure.
They're afraid.
They're gonna keep playing a game of like pitting everyone against each other, right?
Yeah.
That's how they're gonna do it. They're basically gonna keep people hating each other.
Yeah.
That's what keeps them in place. It's actually their
divide and conquer strategy.
Sure. Yeah.
Divide and conquer. Now, I've been watching some pretty interesting documentaries, man. I saw one. I think it's still free on YouTube, and it's called Unannounced. Yeah, I think it's called Unannounced. Look it up, and they're talking about they're talking about basically shit, man. Every president since the Second World War has basically confirmed and admitted to the whole UFO thing. Now, Ronald Reagan and Jimmy Carter both said that they personally saw UFOs.
Right.
And it was Ronald Reagan who made that quote about how we're going to put our differences aside once we're faced with an outside threat.
Right. So,
yeah.
So I think it's only been it's this idea that it's impossible for aliens to be there, right? Is a modern, is actually a very modern sort of take. It's a modern day arrogance, right?
Yeah.
It's the arrogance of modern men that we don't see it, it ain't there, right? Or we can manipulate the truth of it, or we can investigate and find out, right? But the fact of the matter is, if you look up through our whole history for thousands of years, right? If you told people 1,000 years ago there were aliens there, they say, "Oh, really? Oh, no problem. I heard about them." Right? Right. I mean, it's as simple as that, right? It's in the scripture. It's in the old stories. People go. No one has a problem with it, right? It's just the Bible. It's in every.
Even go back to before the moon was in the sky.
Yeah.
And before the Atlantic Ocean split the lands apart.
Right. So
when it was Pangea. I got one for you. You're in Switzerland right now, right?
Right.
It's almost 1 a.m., right?
Yeah, it's 2 now.
It's two. Now, if you look out in the sky, the moon is in the sky, right?
I haven't checked today. But
Okay, but there's no such thing as a moonless night. I've never experienced a night without the moon in the sky.
oh, which is actually it depends on what time it flies by, right? So it could be that the moon might have set at 6 p.m., so it's not there anymore, or it comes up early in the morning, right?
The moon?
The moon, yeah. So the cycle,
Actually looked up at a night sky and not seen the moon.
sure, there are nights like I've seen that. Well, you don't see it because it's dark too, because it hasn't passed the red. You ever see the moon at a moonrise on the edge of the sky come up?
No. I've never seen the moon rise or set across the horizon ever in my life.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I've lived in Spain and I've lived in Hawaii, which, according to the globe, are on the opposite sides of each other. And
it doesn't follow a 24-hour cycle, right?
Okay, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but I mean, I've seen the moon in the sky. I mean,
during the day.
Yes, I would wait to say that you could go outside and see the moon, and I could go outside here in the United States with the sun out and see the moon.
Right. So when you see the moon with the sun out, chances are on the other side where it's dark, you're not going to see it there.
No moon. I know, but I have never in my life seen a moonless night.
Okay, got it. So basically, those are nights that are particular to two things, man. If you have really clear skies, you can see a lot of stars for sure, right?
Right. But
it's also
take your phone. If you go outside at any time and the moon is not there at night, right? And just do a pass around and send me the video, because there's never been a moonless night. There's never been a moonless night. I've never seen a nighttime where the moon wasn't in the sky.
Okay, I mean, I have, so I'm not sure exactly. Yeah, of course, and then also it's darker at night too when the moon's on the other side, right?
Okay.
You've never seen a moonless night?
Never.
Oh, okay.
I've never seen a moonless night. I've never seen a moonless night.
You can actually find hang on 1 second. You can actually tell you which days. Let's see if I can find a moon calendar. Okay. There's a moon phase calendar you can find online. It'll tell you which days you're gonna find that moonless night.
All right, thanks. Thanks, Bobby. Yeah, I mean, yeah, okay. I know about the phases, right? But I've never seen a night. Okay, here we go. Astronomy, moonless night, and lunar phase. A moonless night, as you expect, night with the moon does not appear visible in the sky. This happens once per month. Per month. So if this happens once per month, then 29 days of the year, everybody on the planet is seeing the moon at night.
No, it's gradual, Devin, because sometimes, I say the sun sets at 7, right? Sometimes the moon doesn't rise till 3 o'clock in the morning, for example, right?
Yeah.
You actually see it come out from the side and come out, for example.
Yeah, I mean,
so there are varying degrees, and sometimes the moon is setting at 7 p.m. So it's like, okay. So it's not like, there's a and then it just disappears one day every 20 minutes, once a month or something, right?
But I know, but what I'm saying is, I've seen, like, on a pretty regular basis, the moon during the day, right?
Right.
So that
actually,
means,
you know what? Come to think of it, I think on some calendars it'll even show you some moon icon.
That's what I'm trying to find right now.
I'm looking for one right now. Some calendars will show it to you. What's today's? Okay. Today's, wait, let's see. It's March. Oh, there it is. So I can post in this chat, right?
Yeah, of course. Post it in there. Oh.
So that this, for example, right? So we see here on the first of February 2020.
Yeah, there was no moon in the sky.
No, that's all. Yeah, it was dark most of the time. On the second, you only get a sliver.
What?
Yeah. On the third, that's what you get, right?
All right, I'm going to type in when is the next moonless night.
So,
okay, here we go. Yeah, moon phases 2022.
31st.
The 31st of this month.
Looks like it.
That's on a couple of days from now. A few days from now.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to look at that because it just seems like, all right. So that's the 31st is the new moon, man. That's when the moon is going to be big and yellow and shit.
No, it hasn't. That's only the new moon, meaning it's gone through from none. It's going to start again until it's full.
Ah.
New moon basically means it's not there, right? So.
Okay. And then why does the moon appear closer to the earth from certain times? And why every time there is an eclipse, the shadow of the moon is exactly 74 miles across in diameter?
Oh, really? What is 70? Wait, I don't know what that means.
The shadow that the moon casts during a solar eclipse, when the moon is covering the sun, that round spot that it puts on the earth, that shadow is the shadow of the moon is 74 miles across.
It's only 74. I don't know. Really?
Yeah, it's exactly 74 miles across, and it's 74 miles across every single time there's an eclipse. Why? I got no idea. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's well, I mean, some believe that the moon is actually a source of light.
Well, it is.
It is. It's not just reflecting light, right?
No, it is reflecting light. It is reflecting light. It's bouncing off the mirror. I
know. That's what people say. But some say that the light that's produced by the moon is too bright to be a reflection of the ocean of the earth.
Ah, interesting. Well, I don't know how they measure that, but it depends on the color and what. I mean, the one thing for sure though, the design of the moon, the roundness, and all this stuff is, it doesn't look like something that happened by accident.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. I mean, you hear about Enki, right? The Anunnaki was Enki and Inu, that was supposed to be the ones that were in charge of the earth for a while, and that either Enki or Inu traveled through space and brought the moon back from somewhere else.
Supposedly, right? So if you look at the moons of other planets, they typically look all fucked up. They're like they're not round, They're like
like little rocks. They're not even all round. And on top of that, our Earth is pretty goddamn big, man, compared to our Earth.
Right.
I mean, it's not the same size as the Earth, but look at the moons around Saturn and shit.
Yeah. So there's definitely, I mean, these mysteries though, definitely.
Yeah.
It's typically in the modern mind of people, the modern arrogance of the scientific West. It's not even scientific anymore in the West. It's just fucking delusional, right? Because it just sounds in their arrogance decided that it's going to try to outsmart everybody, sort of thing, right? And own everything, right? And this is the same mindset that's trying to dictate everything in your life, anyway, right? just can't fathom the idea that there are certain forces and aspects of reality that they can't grasp and maintain that's working in perfect order, right?
Yeah.
They've written off all that stuff. They've written out the mystery of life. They're trying to, even today, man, they're trying to write out the joys and mysteries of our own lives today.
I know, man.
You know what I mean? We're talking about, some really beautiful parts of life they want to write out and say,
it's not correct. It's not according to the plan. So it's not correct.
Totally. No, for them, it's like, wait a second, we can't control that. We can't have that because we can't control it, right?
Right. You can't simply be, attracted to somebody, make love, have kids, be happy with the fact that they want to raise them to be healthy.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't just get the regular joys of life that our grandparents and their parents all enjoyed and lived.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
But man,
you can. You just have to fight for it, right?
You got to fight for it, and you got to show that you appreciate it.
Well, that's just it. I mean, if you really want to do it bad enough, you do it. You do it without looking for their approval, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing to do. If you really, I mean, the fact of the matter is, you can't please them anyway.
No, you can't.
Even if you tried to please them, you can say, "Okay, Devin, now you're going to do this, you're going to do that." That's not going to be enough for them. You're never going to please them.
No, it's never going to be enough.
No, you're never going to please them. So you might as well just,
Yeah, you see the guy that they had on this TV show that they called him. They called him all kinds of names, man, because he would not accept the advances of a trans.
So he's a bigot now.
He's a bigot. Because the guy in a dress wants to kiss you, and if you don't kiss him, then something wrong with you. It's ridiculous.
No, it is manipulation. Yeah.
And all of this stuff, I thought it sprung from feminism.
Not even, man. The feminists are fighting with trannies now. You see,
they got to be, man, because
they're encroaching on women's space. That's
it's insulting. A woman gave birth to me,
right? And
if a man puts on a dress, how dare he say he's the same?
People. Okay, they can say whatever the fuck they want. They can do whatever the fuck they want as long as they don't infringe on your shit, right?
Right.
That's how it is. Like, so like, oh yeah, you can believe yourself to be whatever it is you want. I don't give a shit, right? Just don't force me to do anything.
Exactly. Yeah. Don't force me to call you by anything different than what I see.
Yeah.
Sir. Or ma'am, you know what I mean?
That's how. That's just that. That's yeah. And you know what? The thing is, the society, this culture is trying to sort of teach us as if we were like teenagers again, high school kids. But we're not. We can't be trained anymore. There is no going back. Re-education camp and shit.
You can't.
We're fully developed, and I like myself the way I am. I'm not trying to grow up into one of these fags.
And it stems, and I don't care. And it stems.
How many people do you have on there?
Let me see.
More than one. More than Rob.
Yeah, one or two watching. Not too many.
Oh my gosh, okay. Peace, you guys. Sorry.
Yeah, my channel got knocked down, so I got two new Devin Lockett channels, but
No, but I'm saying, I'm not trying to, I don't need media to try to re-educate me. You know what I mean?
Right. And it comes with it comes with the whole asinine assumption that there is a trajectory of change, of sociological change, and that the future world is going to be different. Well, I hate people say you're on the wrong side of history. Well, Who the fuck determined you as the decider of what?
Yeah, totally. No, it's a scam. They're trying to scam you, right? No, that's just it. It's as if. And then the thing is, though, you're right. I mean, they're making some claims, some really big claims they have no right to make. Really,
Totally, man. Totally. In other words, and it's arrogant because you're saying,
oh, totally.
We are bending society.
But the problem, though, Devin, I mean, they're in doing so, they would have to negate what I know for myself, right? And they have to tell me that what I've experienced and learned is not what I experienced and learned. No, it's bullshit. It is what I experienced and learned,
Exactly.
And I'm not I would not trade that in for their bullshit, right? I don't care, it's just not worth it. What do? I don't get back my years. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
what do you do? Give me another 50 years? They're not, right?
No, but we're gonna discredit all of the wisdom you've acquired over these 50 years.
That's the idea, to eradicate the mind, to
Eradicate the mind. And look, if the average person is going to be overwhelmed with cognitive dissonance as a result of that. The average
it
person
already is, yeah.
Yeah. And so they're just going to say, okay, I don't care anymore. I just want to get high. Let's just party. Let's just party. I just want to get out of my space, out of my time. And then, we'll make some, generalized, statements about the world. Oh, the world this, the world that, ha ha ha, pass the blow, and no, I'm not ready to do that. And let me tell you something, man. Doing 50 hertz neural feedback every day, it gives you a lot of fucking clarity. It really does. Yes.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, the thing is, because I do this, I don't have a bio rhythm machine, right? So, but I do know that the amount of information and stimulus that's flowing through your daily life is, I see it. It'll scramble your thoughts.
Yeah.
Naturally, it'll just naturally scramble your thoughts from one shit to the other. It could be something like, okay, here's something really nice, and here's a freaking nuclear war, and here's sickness and death, and all this shit is just scrambling people's brains, right? And you need to stop that to come back to, if that's what that does, that's perfect. Then you can slow down that thought process, and then you can see what's bullshit and what's real in front of you, right?
Yeah.
That's the whole point, And half the time when you turn that off, you see that that's all bullshit. What I see in front of me is a really nice a nice piece of steak or something or whatever,
For me, man, it's like, I can see that. First of, I think a lot of the young people do a lot of drugs, and I know
Probably.
now I sound like a real old man by saying this, but I think more people spend more of their time high than we would suspect, and even we would suspect, right?
Yeah.
It's between being zoned out on this, right?
Yeah.
Zoned out on this,
Yeah.
and whatever substances you might have, and then even if you're not zoned out on this, you go home and turn on the idiot box, and you're still getting your feed. You're still getting your zeitgeist feed, and it's all consistent.
Oh yeah.
It's all consistent. You got to feel this way, or you're a bad guy.
Oh yeah.
Or girl.
Yeah. I mean, even if they're not getting high, the amount of misinformation, right? That things that you're supposed to care about. It's like all of a sudden you're supposed to care about, I know, Greta or something like that. Or all of a sudden you're supposed to care about some Ukrainian guy. Zelensky's a hero. All this stuff, which has no bearing in the reality of you're really in, you're truly in. It has nothing to do with the reality I'm in, right?
No.
But
that's why I call it the zeitgeist, man. I mean, it's
man. I mean, because you really think about it. If you say, hey man, the Ukrainian guy is a hero, and if you support him, you actually get a dopamine hit, right?
Yeah.
Yes, they killed 30,000 Russians, these people, they actually get neurochemistry hits from some of these things, right?
Right.
Yeah, those are real. Those are real processes, you know. Like,
Sure.
oh look, oh a downer or this and that, right? Those are drugs. Those are
Yeah.
drugs.
They
You
get
know?
dopamine hits from. They get dopamine
Yeah,
hits.
totally. The information, you know, they're now sending out information as drugs. I do believe that they're altering, you know, with their broadcasts, you know, the chemical makeup of people's brains, really. You know, the activities for sure, right?
Yeah.
So the question is whether you want to keep control of it or whether the news media should be keeping it for you. Now, if biofeedback
Yeah.
helps you see that clearly, that's all the better, man. Yeah.
Well, what it does is, right, when I first, and it's a process, right?
Yeah.
Because you really do have to start with infra low just to get rid of the dysregulation in the neocortex. You have to.
Really? I mean, that's
Yeah.
going deep. I mean, look, okay, I studied meditation. You know that. I mean, I was studying meditation as well too, right? I used to do some, Buddhist or sometimes some yoga meditation as well too. It's actually trying to it's attempt at the same discipline.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What you're talking about with the zetas and the different brain waves, right? The Hindus had a different name for it, right?
That's
you know,
right.
they talk about the different levels of samadhi, for example. You know,
When the brain is going 1,000,000 miles an hour and the body is calm.
right. So
Close, right?
right. So there's what you call there's a couple of pieces of knowledge of yoga. You know, people think of yoga as these stretching exercises or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of like yoga that came in from the East in the earlier part of last century were coming from a kind of yoga called Kriya Yoga, right? From a guy who's supposedly by the name of Babaji, right? They had a whole system of chakras. That's just how they used to explain it, right?
Yeah, snake, right? It was like a snake yoga. Like
Kundalini, yeah. So like the Kundalini goes up the spine, but you know these are metaphorical for different stages and phases of meditation, right? You know?
Yeah.
But and I mean you're actually talking about the same thing. In the same way, what they're trying to do is differentiate between which stimulus and thoughts are truly yours from what's being imposed on you from somewhere else, right?
Yeah. Well, you know, brother, I've been. You heard of the Gateway, right?
Who?
The Gateway experience.
No, what's that?
Okay, I got the. You know Binaural Beats, right? Binaural Beats.
Yeah, I heard of it. Yeah.
Okay.
Headphones. Those headphones. Wait, what are these? Are
Yeah,
these
yeah.
headphones?
Yeah, binaural beats are created inside your brain as electrical signals when you play two tones in either ear.
Right, gotcha. Yeah,
at a certain frequency apart. The difference between those frequencies is created in the brain. So if you want to induce a theta state, you just play two frequencies that are 7 hertz apart.
Yeah.
And then the person will be like, in a dreamy state. Well, if there are binaural beats that mimic every drug and everything known to man, you can find them on YouTube and listen to them.
Really? Trip. Yeah.
You can actually feel a high. But Bob Monroe, the guy who started the binaural beat thing, right, who invented it, he mastered it so much when he was working for the government that he actually came up with cocktails of beats, sounds, that if you listen to them, they would make you proficient at a particular sport, not just sports, but a particular sport or a particular job or whatever. He really honed it down that well. And he's got a group of audios called the Gateway Experience, which induces an out-of-body experience at will.
Oh,
now,
really?
Yes. Now, today, I found a documentary online, and I'm going to watch it when I get back to work tomorrow, and it's free. And they were talking about, I forgot the name of the documentary, but they were talking about remote viewers, which is a type of spy or cop. And
I heard about this.
Yeah, who actually can train themselves using the type systems to actually leave their body, right, and actually spy and shit where where they're not. And that's what I'm trying to do, listening to the Gateway tapes, right?
Really?
Yeah, I'm listening to the Gateway. You can buy the Gateway audios for like $400, man. You can buy it on eBay. Seriously.
What is it? How's it different from? Can you download it and listen to it or no? You need machines.
Yeah, no, you don't. No. You just need a good set of headphones. Good set of noise canceling headphones, man. But you got to find the whole series. Like I've got it, but I don't have all of the audios. I'll pay the $400 just to make sure I got all of the all of the files.
Right. So I mean, this is all good, but I think what's important though, what's important to know is having a cause for why you do this, right?
So simple expansion of consciousness, right?
Well, okay. So for example, is it for a kind of entertainment, for example, or is it for improvement? Is it for problem solving? Because you could use this to improve your life, right?
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
But see, the thing is, man, what's inside that Pandora's box, you don't really know. You see,
no, it's scary. I'll tell you.
Scary.
You heard of you've heard of the DMT elves?
Of course. Everybody meets them. They call them robots, they call them children, and they call them elves.
Yeah.
But everybody consistently meets these beings.
That's the interesting thing. Yeah. There are separates.
Yeah. The dimension that they live on is real.
Right.
And when you see them, they tell you shit about your life. So it's like they see you, they know you.
Yeah, I hear people get to know them too, right? They start seeing the same ones when they come back and visit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I've never had ayahuasca or any other kind of.
Yeah, me neither. But yeah.
It'd be worth a try.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not sort of. I don't mean to say, oh, there are elves on the other side. I mean, I don't know any of this, right? But also, although there's just some anecdotal stories of people saying the same things.
Dude, everybody, Joe Rogan, everybody says the same thing.
And also, and it's nothing new. I mean, people have been saying these things for millennia. Thousands of years.
Yeah. So I mean, the ayahuasca, the guys down in Peru, they know about it.
But what's interesting is that even though they're in separate places, in separate heads, they have the same connection of experience, right? So almost as if there's some objective links between these places, right?
Exactly. Now, what they talked about. Check it out, man. When the year I went into the Air Force decided to investigate the Monroe Institute and the whole Gateway, right? So they sent a colonel, and that colonel had a staff. He had officers and enlisted people that were all sent by the government to the Monroe Institute to study the Gateway. Now the report was just recently made public. I did a YouTube video about it, right? I did a YouTube video talking about it, and I had the PDF, and I still have the PDF, which is the report from the colonel. A lot of the stuff, everything that I learned in hypnotherapy school, he was right on about the critical mind, and the subconscious mind. He was right on, except he went even further and added some of the shit that I learned in biomagnetism by saying that physically the critical faculty resides on the left hemisphere, and it develops later and whatever. Now in biomagnetism, we do a muscle scan and we say, okay, if the body tenses up, the right leg's going to shorten more than the left because the heart is on the left side of the body. So the left hemisphere of the brain is more pronounced than the right, and therefore it controls the right side of the body, and blah, blah, blah. That's the way we diagnose people, right? And of course, the critical mind doesn't form until you're 7 or 8. Well, it's not until about 7 or 8 years of life, because when you come out of the womb, you're perfectly symmetrical.
Yeah, you're totally open to everything. Yeah, non-judgmental. Yeah,
you're just made the way you're supposed to be.
Yeah,
but it isn't until 8 or 9 years of life on Earth where the effect of the heart being on this side makes this side of the brain bigger than that side, right? And that just so happens to be when you come to the realization that there's no Santa Claus and there's no Easter Bunny. In other words, you develop the critical faculty and you're not in theta anymore. You're not in a hypnotic state where everything that comes in is just programming. Right. You're a person, and so you kind of have a filter, your critical faculty. Now, he talk about all of that shit. But one thing that's very interesting, man, he talks about a thought bubble. and how when you listen, and this is I never had an out of body experience. However, I did bring home headphones just the other day and listened to these audios again. I listened to them a lot about a year ago. Um, the result that happens is you learn, and I'm using the term loosely, learn, but you learn that like listening to Ayn Rand, she says everybody when they're born, they're a tabula rasa, and that the only way to learn things is through input from the five senses, either through your own experience or through reading books and getting, going to class and learning from others. But it all enters your brain through the five senses. I don't know, dude. The brain is a computer, but the brain is a computer that's online.
Yeah, it's connected. No.
And
There's
there is such a thing as osmotic absorption of knowledge.
yeah, absolutely.
In the ether, that's out in the ether, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And after, like I said, I had not experienced an out of body experience, but I did get a distinct feeling that my consciousness was open and that I was receiving knowledge, like I was at one with the universe and I was receiving knowledge, not necessarily knowledge that I had taken the time to sit and learn and read.
Sure.
And I didn't know if it was like on the movie Limitless, where it's like, okay, you were exposed to this information. You may not have consciously paid attention to it, but you were exposed to it. And so therefore the brain picked it up. And so that information is now at access, but that did happen. And another thing that happened was somebody told me in the conversation that they had just talked about me, right? And at that moment, I had a flash in my head, and I told the person, I described everybody that was in the room, including two people who I didn't even know.
Right.
And she was like in tears. She was like, "How did you know? How did you know?" I was like, "I don't know." It's just like when you said, "Hey, that, I was just talking about you." The flash of you just talking about me and where and everybody just popped into my head.
So there's I've been getting that my whole life actually.
Really, right?
Yeah, I've never really wanted to sort of talk about it as if I had some special gift or what, right? But the thing is that it's just a lot of people kind of have that and not really. Let's just put it this way, right? One thing that's important is what you want to do with it. That's still the key to it, It's like, oh, okay, well, that's a neat trick. Okay, yeah. I mean, so what? What are you gonna do? Join the circus, right? You're not, right? But
join the CIA,
what's that?
Join the CIA or something.
Yeah, but then what are they gonna do to you, right?
Right. LSD. Let's see if we can make it stronger.
Yeah, but the point of it is to what it still comes down to what's important to you, what you want to do with your life, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't really it's not. I don't think it's an end to itself, right? To have the power to do this, because the fact of the matter is, just as sometimes you're right on, sometimes you're completely off as well too, and that happens with anything. Happens with factual information. Happens with anything. Where did I put my glasses? So this area is the same way. It's like, okay, I see clearly what happened there. I felt it, right? It's on, and sometimes it could be a slippery slope, a thin line to something more delusional as well too. It is, it could be, okay, you could be deluding yourself as well too. It's a very, very close area as well. So, but still though, what it still comes down to is what do you need something like that for, right? What is the purpose you're trying to fill? And that's actually more important. What's your goal? Where do you want to go with it? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, oh wait, I'm going to think up the lotto numbers. Well, I mean, I don't know that that's how it works, right?
It makes sense. When he talks, if you go to the Monroe Institute YouTube channel, Bob Monroe, when he was alive, right, he talks about all of that. He talks about the early experiments. He said that him and his buddy lived down the street from him, and they would make experiments like he would write something on a card and put it face down on his kitchen table, and then Bob would be at his house down the street, and he would be listening to his binaural beats. And he said he made a trip down there, and he actually saw what was on the paper, and he came back and he told him this is what was written on the paper.
Yeah.
And I mean, from what he was saying, the gateway experience actually survives the scientific method, and that it is repeatable with predictable results and verifiable by bringing witnesses along with you that you can say, hey, come with me, like a field trip, like an out-of-body field trip.
Right. So this was a big sort of area of interest in the late 1800s, early 1900s in America, right? So there were all kinds of people. They're like psychonauts, researchers into this area. LA was an epicenter for a lot of this stuff. There were a lot of people moving to LA to do this sort of stuff. You had like the Theosophical Institute over there in Los Feliz, Yeah, do you know who Paramahansa Yogananda is?
Yeah, of course. The on Sunset. The
self-realization. Yeah, self-realization. Basically, his guru, his job was to bring this kind of yoga, this area of yoga actually, to the West, right? Now, I know some Indian guys from the Brahmin castes, of India, because in India, is, I mean, we're talking about racism. They have like social castes, and if you're a priestly your whole life, right? But anyway, he was talking about how a lot of these gurus would come to America basically as a scam, right?
Yeah.
But Yogananda, he said, was actually real. I mean, it was actually a real, real teachings, right?
Yeah.
So there are some that are actually teaching real things. So Yogananda actually teaches about Kriya Yoga, which is a different levels of meditation that hit upon these areas that you're talking about, right? He had a partner that he grew up with that he brought over into the States, right? I think in the 30s or something like that, and his church was growing. He has one on Mount Washington, on Sunset Boulevard. He has one in Pacific Palisades, Encinitas. And so he was getting a lot of women interested in joining his thing, right? And the funny thing is, a lot of the women seem to have been coming from Salt Lake City, Mormons, right? So he had like Mormon women, many of them, right? So he started developing. So you know the story. And then one time he went to Florida. He got chased out by the husbands of women who were catching.
Yo! You know who's doing that today? Have you ever seen Muji?
Oh, exactly. You showed me that. Yeah. It's similar. So, I mean, Muji's probably not going to be chased out, but that's exactly what Yogananda. But anyway,
he admits. Muji admits.
Yeah.
What's up? He says, "What's up?" I mean, he was talking at one of his satsangs, right? I mean, he's a Jamaican brother, right? He's a brother from Jamaica, man. But all right, man.
Hey, Kai.
Say hi to Marco, man.
Hey, Marco, what's up? Hey, what's up?
But he's got real Hindus like following him too. I mean, I guess they get him like. Because
it makes sense, right? I mean, basically, be happy. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It just makes perfect sense. Relax, chill out.
Maybe I should hold satsangs at the Biometric Health Center, right? And just that's all he does is just sit up in the chair and tell everybody how to relax and be happy.
Yeah, exactly, right. Yeah.
Yo,
I mean, that's if you can sell that, that's a positive product,
He's got followers, man. One time I'm watching him, man, and he's like, I remember there was one time the young lady insisted she wanted to see me, and I said, no, I don't want to see you. And then he looks and says, something happened, Yeah, something happened. You boned her, you broke her heart.
That's funny.
And then when she came to talk to you about it, you called security on her.
That's That's funny. So people believe he's Indian, but he's actually Jamaican. Is that
He's a
right?
Jamaican brother, man.
Okay.
Yeah. He ain't from India. No, I mean, he admits that he's Jamaican, but I mean, and so you think, okay, brother, I mean, like, you look pretty young. Like, how many years exactly did you study in India before you made your YouTube channel?
Yeah.
or you just got a really cool Indian tailor who gave you a bunch of really nice robes.
Yeah.
Who gives you a bunch of really nice wraparound outfits.
You know what? I mean, if that's helping people chill out, I have got another, more power to it. That's cool.
Dude, honestly, Muji is good background, man.
Yeah.
If you're just like cleaning the house or something, and you put them on and like you want to be like listening and kind of not listening, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's very soothing. It's
Yeah.
very soothing to hear,
Right.
But I mean, that's why they call them.
Okay. So,
right?
dude, back to Yogananda. He brought over someone that he grew up with into the States to help him with his booming organization ministry or something like that, right? And so they were accused of screwing the girls, basically, right? And so they were getting pressured, and it's a scam and this and that. Actually, he ended up breaking up with his young partner, and he ended up marrying some of the girls, I think, right? But he was recruited by the CIA and a university to do more research into the state,
Really?
Yeah. So wait, let me get you his name. I'll tell you what the research work was. But this area that you're talking about is something that they have funded for the longest time.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you talking about remote viewing and stuff, or out of body type?
Just mind experiments of the mind. Yeah.
It's going to take you there eventually. I mean, you do like neuro. You do things that have to do with yo, man. I went to the Hypnosis Motivational Institute, and let me tell you something. That place is worth the 15 grand. Even if they teach you how to hypnotize, right? But you learn so much more. It's worth it if you want to be a hypnotherapist, because not necessarily because of the classes. The classes are good, the videos are great, the online training is good, but the practice, right? On the weekends, Saturdays, Sundays, you get to go, and there's a lot of people who don't mind being hypnotized by a student for free, right? So you get to practice. You get to know whether you're dealing with a inferential orientated person or a direct orientated person. You don't, or a somnambulist, which is a person who's practically asleep all the time. You learn some pretty uncomfortable truths about race and culture. Because the fact of the matter is, when they say someone is a somnambulist, that makes them, those are the easiest people to hypnotize. Those are the people that you hypnotize standing on the stage. You can say, oh, cluck like a chicken, and they'll walk around and do that. Not everybody is susceptible to stage hypnosis, right? But somnambulists are. So when a hypnotherapist comes and he wants to show off stage hypnosis, he goes through the crowd and he can already detect who's a somnambulist or not. Right?
Okay. So you can cue in on does this, but you see, from what I'm hearing, I mean, they're doing this willingly, right? To get hypnotized, you're willingly jumping into it, right?
Yes and no, because this one guy that was a graduate of the school, he's got videos on YouTube. You got to see him. I mean, he was even interviewed on Jesse Lee Peterson. He lives here in LA. Dude, this guy walks up to people in the mall, man, and makes them give him their wallet. And you know what? I hate to say it, but he pulls it more effectively on more Black people than non.
Really?
And yes, and it's whenever he finds a young brother that's like bebopping, right? When you see somebody walking down the street with earbuds, that person is halfway to being a somnambulist. Because they, first of all, when to put someone in the state of hypnosis, right? your conscious mind can only handle about 7 message units at a time before you go into fight or flight. All right.
Okay.
That's why the phone number is only 7 digits, right? Seriously, it was designed that way. And what they do in a calm voice is they overload your conscious mind, your critical faculty with message units. They know they've gone over 7, 8, 9 message units, right? And so then you don't realize it because they're talking to you calmly and you think you're just calmly enjoying a hypnosis session. But once it gets over 7 message units, you go into fight or flight. And when you go into fight or flight, the critical faculty shuts down. That opens the door to your subconscious. You see what I'm saying? It's only a matter of realizing whether someone is direct or whether someone's an inferential, right? A direct person, and it has a lot to do with your parenting when you were a kid. If you had the kind of parent that would spank you and then kind of explain why and apologize and try to correct behavior, you're most likely to be a direct person, a person who says what he means and means what he says. If you had a narcissistic mom that didn't say turn the heat up, but said, oh, it's chilly in here, and then you had to infer from what she meant from what she said what she meant, then you tend to be an inferential person. So you have to speak to the person based on their suggestibility. Your suggestibility is how you receive information, and your sexuality is how you project information, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So some people are inferential suggestibles and then direct sexuals, right? Or some people are both, right? They're inferential suggestible and inferential, sexual. Sexual not meaning screwing people, but sexual meaning
projecting.
Out, yeah. And oh, dude, the school is so worth it. Honestly, man, I got rear-ended on the 210, and it totaled my Beamer, which is the reason I had to drop out, right? Because the class went on. But I do intend on going back. And like I said, even if I paid 15 cash, it's definitely worth it. But
so what do you get? So what, it helps you read people and use it in real time or what?
Dude, it gets even spookier than that. All right, you get one of the teachers as your personal hypnotherapist. That's one of the main benefits of being a student there, because this person who they assign as your hypnotherapist will give you your hypnotherapy as frequently as you ask for it. And if you sit down and you write a laundry list, like, I want to be more disciplined, I want to be more creative, I want to sleep better, I want to be more loving, I want to be more lovable, I want to pick up chicks, whatever your laundry list is. Right. And then you give it to them, then they will definitely program you the way you ask. But a lot of the teachers there, they even have classes in past life regression. And I'm gonna be honest, Scientology does too. Scientology, and I went, and I'm saying this on YouTube, I went to the Blue Church when I first came to LA.
Yeah.
I went through several
dynamics. You got one of those machines?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. An e-meter. In fact, I would like to purchase an e-meter because it is a biofeedback device. Yeah. Dude, my teachers at the Othmers, they knew L. Ron Hubbard on a first name basis. They know the Dalai Lama on a first name basis today, right? And they refer to him as Ron. They go, "Oh yeah, Ron was crazy, man. Ron was crazy." But the fact is, you can regress and to your moment of your birth and before, and get your last life. I'm very serious. I know. And I'm going to describe a very weird thing that happened to me when
recently or what?
When I was attending the school.
Okay.
When I was attending the school and I was fasting.
I
fasted for a long time. It was almost a week, man. I was fasting. And I forgot why I was. I just wanted to see how long I could do it. I think it was like 4 days, like a good 4 day like complete fast, drinking water and whatever. And I remember I was driving across. I thought I was making a shortcut, and I was taking Coldwater, right? I was taking Coldwater Canyon over the hill,
Yeah.
right? Because the school is on Ventura Boulevard. So I figured I would cross from Sunset all the way across Coldwater. You know what I mean? Coldwater down to Laurel Canyon, over the pass. And during that drive, I was going bumper to bumper. It felt like I had some kind of a epiphany, some kind of a psychic visitation.
While you
And
were driving?
huh?
While you were driving?
While I was driving.
Yeah.
While I was driving. And I mean, and counseled me about everything, even counseled me about the chick that I was dating at the time. Okay. Yeah. And I was asking questions back. Right. And the only thing I can distinctly remember is, I was asking like, who are you? What are you? Are you like, a dead relative or somebody? Are you like grandfather? You know what I mean? Or how have you lived on Earth before? And this energy kind of laughed, and I don't remember the number that he gave me, but I remember it started with a 3, and it was a very huge number. And he said that he's had, I don't know, maybe 3 million lives on Earth, or 300,000 or 30,000. I don't remember the exact number, but I know that it started with a 3, right? That it was a huge number, and it started with a 3. And that, I'm telling you, man, that I don't know if, like I said, it could have had something to do with the fast. It could have had something to do with the hypnosis, or it could have been a combination of the both. You know what
I mean, like I said, like, people who do the ayahuasca DMT stuff,
yeah,
they see and experience things that no one can really tell them that it didn't happen or it's not real, right? Yeah. But what's meaning is something that's completely to you, for you, right? It's not for anyone else, right? So basically, if someone says something about you and your life in that space, it's about you for your own use and whatever you're going to use it for.
Oh, totally tailored.
You don't need to get someone else to, approve it for you, right?
Yeah.
Nor interpret it for you, but I think the actual meaning stays with you, right? So.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Look at this, man. If I wouldn't have posted my brother's thing, man, I don't think anybody would have showed up.
Right. So see that's the whole thing. And back to that, like what I was going to say about Yogananda. Basically, his partner left him and started doing more research and started living a Western life, actually, because they must have been paying him a lot of money. Because he started suiting up with ties and everything as a university professor, yeah, and even got in the West, he started looking white. To be honest with you, no more hair shit. He's like, he got like haircut and everything,
Like the blonde girlfriend.
But
Mormon chick.
yeah, exactly.
I was in Hawaii. Okay, yeah. Now the Mormons did pretty good in Polynesia, right? They're all over Polynesia.
Right, so they have missions all over the world, yeah.
Oh yeah, I met, actually sold art to. I was working at an art gallery. A brown brother, that like a Samoan brother, right?
Yeah,
and he had 2 white wives. Mormon.
What a headache, huh? Who would do that?
They were cute too, man. They were pretty, both of them. yeah, hanging on his arms in the gallery and stuff.
But what was I gonna say? I mean, the Mormons are actually kind of an interesting group because they have a different cosmic reference than your typical other sect or cult, right, or religion. They're basically very new age, like some, they're very new world, right? It's very American, actually. They only existed in America. I mean, the guy finds some sort of, what was it, some plaques and visitations, and there were stories about Indians and all this stuff, right? You know?
Yeah.
So that's a totally an American, sort of very American sort of stuff. I mean, and then in fact, a lot of these, what I'm finding is a lot of these, like the early support for some of these movements in these psychonauts in Los Angeles, right?
Yeah.
You know, a lot of them were Mormons searching.
Really?
Yeah, you know, so they got Mormon support. Right?
LA is the capital of new religions and stuff.
Oh, it was happening for the longest time. I don't know. I think even now, I'm sure. Yeah, you know.
Yeah. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, you know.
Yeah, new age stuff.
If you can kick it off, a lot of new age stuff. If you can do, you know, there's a like I said, on my software, there is a if you look on the graphs on the Signet, there's like 4 or 5 open slots. One of those open slots is made for galvanic skin response, because that's all that E meter is, right?
Yeah.
The E meter is basically an ohm meter, right?
Yeah.
It has its own little mild voltage, and the surface of your skin gets moist with the memory of pain. Like if you're feeling
that's the
pain,
idea. Yeah.
If you're feeling pain, you may or may not sweat. If you sweat while you're feeling pain, the very next step is passing out. Right. When I ripped my bicep, right, trying to hang a TV on the wall, right, I ripped my bicep and the whole thing scrunched up to here. I laid oh my God, I laid on the floor and screamed. I was home alone, and I was hurting so bad I was sweating, and such bad pain I was sweating. The next step would have been to pass out from the pain, right? Seriously, when you sweat, the next thing you're gonna do is pass out if you're hurting that bad. But if you remember pain, your skin will get moist. Like something that may not have triggered you that much, you can do it like a little pinch, right? And I've done that on my son, on my oldest son.
Oh yeah,
right. You know, where you know you tell them hold the 2 cans, and then you pinch the arm, and then they're like, what are you doing? And then nothing. I'm sorry. And then you hold the cans, and then you start talking about, oh man, why is it getting hot all of a sudden, man? The winter, whatever. And then you're looking at the meter, and then he goes, now remember when I just pinched you?
Like, okay.
Yep, it is like, oh yeah, now I see. Now think about it. That's all that is biofeedback enhanced psychotherapy. You can go and pay a shrink for 14 years and beat around the bush because you don't really want to talk about what's really affecting you. And the shrink will let you because you're paying, and you'll never get to the bottom of it. Whereas if somebody sees when you deflect and they go, no, let's get back to talking about your
hit
mom.
That spot, right.
Yeah, let's go back to that spot. Then that is why Scientology works. That is why Dianetics people. Because in a short amount of time, they go, I went directly to my shit and cleared it.
You know, because the thing is, part of our thinking processes and part of the things that we do for ourselves and the delusions that we put on and keep is for our comfort. It's to keep us comfortable and not experience that. And the truth of the matter is, if you really wanted to grow, it's very painful.
Dude, all you do is rewind the tape, feel the pain, rewind the tape.
Exactly, right?
And then you can laugh about it.
Yeah. Oh, but you have to bring it up. Otherwise, it's just going to be buried there. The Zen Buddhist monks, when I was studying this, right, they would have a room full of people meditating, and like that, the chief, whoever teacher would be walking around with a stick, right? And as he's walking around with a stick, all of a sudden he sensed that someone will be kind of drooping into their spot, like faking it, smack them, right? And he would wake up and so basically he has to smack him out of his state, right?
Yeah. Or I was saying, snap him out of the things he's re-experiencing.
Or he's just going in the wrong direction. He's just feeling out. He's going the wrong direction, you know. Yeah. So you have to lead him back to the right direction, right? Because staying awake is very, very painful, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Part of it is facing yourself is very painful sometimes.
It is.
Yeah. So
with alpha theta neurofeedback, right? When you're working at alpha and theta at the same time, a lot of times you might shed a tear or two, right?
Right.
But you're not getting flashbacks. You're not getting memories of specific things that have happened. But on an energetic level, you're purging pain, unprocessed,
Yeah.
right? Unprocessed pain out of your consciousness, right?
Right.
And then you notice, kind of like with Scientology, you'll notice that, like for me, I used to not be able to stand driving in my car and having sad music come on the radio. I would automatically just change. Now I don't necessarily like sad music now, but I don't have an emotional reaction to it.
Right. Just basically, exactly. So, all these pain, pleasure, memory, what you're talking about as far as memory and your physical reaction, it does get stored, right? And the thing is, your brain isn't just in your head; it's actually spread through neurons all over your body.
No, it has to be in your body.
Oh, totally.
Because that's where the chemicals are.
Yeah,
right?
totally.
Right?
So
anger is stored in your liver as ammonia.
And then there are people who start developing a certain kind of I don't know, dystrophy, atrophy in the muscles, for example, right?
Yeah.
That's brought on by some sort of memory or experience. Because of some experience, they've kind of went in this state. What they found out is that sometimes when you actually all of a sudden kind of break them out of it, the memory of what brought them there comes back and gets released. Right.
Yeah.
That's actually so there are people actually. One of the things they used to experiment with in the 20s with these psychonauts, what certain massage techniques or something, painful ones, right? Yeah. Oh, now I remember.
Yeah. I distinctly remember that. Like I said, I did a few Dianetics sessions, and then I think somewhere along the line I got the money conversation. You know what I mean?
I can do this myself.
Exactly.
DIY kind of guy.
Inevitably, Scientology brings up the money conversation. Because you start thinking, well, damn, man, this works.
Can I photocopy it?
Exactly. It's like, how much can I remember? Take your phone out. How much can I remember? Oh, now, they'll tell you, hey, man, if you want to become a clear, what they call a clear, right? You're talking about an easy $500,000 you're going to end up spending. And at the time, I was 18. I was 23 when I came out of the airport.
Yeah, dude. I mean, if you for that $500,000, you're actually being put in the position where you're actually earning 5 times that because you're placing other people finding it. It's not a bad deal, right?
No. Or if the result of being clear is that I'm making money somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly.
Then not online. If it's really working, if the voodoo works, then I'll chip in. But
right. But here's the thing, though. That's the whole question that I would ask you. What exactly does works mean, right? Does it work? The problem is, it's not about it. It's about you, right? So it's not like something you buy a module from L. Ron Hubbard and then it works. But if that was the case, then it's not you. It's it, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be you, right? So that's the whole point.
It
So
is.
Whether you're doing Dianetics or whether you're doing Zen, you're being a Mormon or you're being a Hindu or you're doing biofeedback, right? The whole point of it is it's not those things that are doing it, right?
It's the fact that you're working it.
Working it. No, it's about you. Ultimate. At the end of the day, man, no one's going to remember this. You're not even going to remember this. It's only going to be about you.
Yeah.
It's not. It's only going to be about how have you actually developed as a person in this process, and what are you doing with it? What's important to you?
That's the thing, right?
Because here's the thing. For some people, what if their idea is just what if it's some for a mass murderer or something, right? It's like, oh well, I want to be more effective with my knife skills.
Yeah.
I want to be more cold-blooded with those razor cuts. I mean, what the fuck,
like the Dharma Sutra.
Yeah,
Have you seen the Dharma Sutra?
No, I mean, what do you mean? A Buddhist chant?
No. It's a book. It's an ancient Hindu script, right?
Right.
Dharma means everything, right? Dharma, the Dharma, whatever. Sutra means good, right? Everything good. The Dharma Sutra breaks down every aspect of life, like if you're married and you had kids before you.
Sort of like their Bible, their Torah.
Yes, it's a guide to life, right? But there's even in the Dharma Sutra, like how to commit adultery and get away with it, how to be a good thief, how to be a good thief, who to rob and who not to rob. You know what I mean? The Hindus, man, they got the cool shit. Yeah, but if you look, so it's not passing moral judgment. It's even in the Kama Sutra, man. If you actually sit down, I have 2 copies of the Kama Sutra in the office. Yeah. If you actually sit down and read the Kama Sutra, they got some pretty in-depth information on how to screw other men's wives.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute. I thought this was about sex techniques. I didn't know this was situational. You know what I mean? It's getting pretty situational. You know what I mean?
That's funny.
I mean, it tells you like how to spot the wife who wants to cheat. I mean, you're like, what? You guys actually codified this shit?
That's funny.
You can tell when a woman wants to cheat on her.
You must go in the morning when the husband needs to work.
If she is wearing the ankle chain on her left ankle. And the spot is not quite green or
Write
red.
his business trip schedule, Become friends with him.
Exactly right. Make friends with him. Give generously to this man because you're going to be screwing his wife. I'm like, what the? Now I'm going to get reported.
That's funny.
Just making fun of Hindus. My God is Vishnu, and I wish you would shut the fuck up.
Actually, you know that guy Sadhguru? You ever listen to Sadhguru guy?
The comedian?
No, he's like an internet guru guy that dispenses advice. It's a funny guy actually. I mean, really look at him. He's actually kind of like a he's just a no nonsense atheist, really, right?
Really?
Right? And people would ask him, Sadhguru, what do you think about the difference between this and that? And, well, basically, I have to tell you, my child, and he has all the different things, but his advice, dude, it's like
I have brown skin and a long white beard, so listen to me. And I'm wearing a turban, so I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Did you hear about the guy that was a fake guru? I think he did a well, I saw the documentary about the film that he did, right? But it was a documentary more about him. But he actually did a documentary about his own work, where he had a whole bunch of people fooled, basically by because he's Indian, right?
Well, because here's the thing, man. It's just like Muji, Devin.
Yeah,
these guys don't have to do much, you see. The followers make up the stories, you see, set up the expectations, do the selling for him. And then not only that, they get so enthralled with the idea that by human nature, this is what I'm seeing more and more, people don't really look at evidence, right? They'll look at information, they'll say, that supports what I want, I'll believe it. That doesn't support what I like, I don't believe that shit, right? So, Moochie's followers, man, Moochie could be out there like, shooting crack. Smoking crack and doing shit. They're like, that can't be. That's not Moochie. I didn't see it. Yeah. I mean,
I got my sandals. I just need a couple of robes, man.
So what I was telling you about Chetan, who's an Indian guy from a Brahmin family, was basically telling me that a lot of these guru guys are freaking scams. Even within India, they're abusive people. A lot of them are abusive people, right? Then they go in the West to try to get rich and this and that, and they do, and they still have an abusive side sometimes, right? There are some, that's a key point. Abusive. Some don't even have to be abusive; they just have to sit there and be pretty, right? The followers, the liberals sell them for them. Yeah.
Well, you heard of Bikram, right?
Who?
Hot yoga, Bikram yoga. The
yoga,
it's
like an orgy.
The yoga that you do in 115-degree temperature.
Oh, I heard something like that. Yeah.
The guy who invented it is an Indian guy named Bikram, right? And his studio was right not far from my house in Beverlywood, right? His studio was on La Cienega, right by the mall, right in Beverlywood in La Cienega. Not, like, honestly, man, less than a mile north of the 10 on La Cienega, right? And man, and you look at the stories about Bikram.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I was going before COVID. I was in a hot yoga studio, right? I was going, and it's good. Hot yoga does work, right?
So here's the thing. It's about the expectations, what was promised, what you're supposed to get, what you think you're going to get from it, and what you really do get from at the end. And the thing is, though, that to be honest with you, people say, I'm looking for inner peace. Well, absolutely. Sitting there and being quiet and shutting your mouth and breathing will bring you inner peace. Yeah. Boring, but it'll bring you inner peace, right? Or some people may say, I want to, other people have this weird idea that, I want to see the flying saucer or something, right? Or something. Right? And so it's like, well, I don't know if you're ever going to see it, but here, have a seat and relax, right? Or something, right?
Yeah.
But the fact is that these guys can actually help you attain some of those states. How long you're going to stay there is a different story. What you're going to do with it is a different story. Whether you have the skills to be able to get there is a different story, Ron
was right. L. Ron Hubbard was right. He's like, look, man, we're going to use a little bit of technology.
Yeah.
And then we're going to mix it. Because remember, when he was a kid, he supposedly traveled to Asia with his father and discovered Buddhism.
Right.
And so a lot of the principles, my friend from Thailand, Charan, he told me that a lot of what Dianetics, what they're talking about as far as like rehashing stuff and purging the energy attached to it, he said that it's Buddhist. He said,
yoga is scientific. I mean, if you look at the way yoga is set up, right? They have a system. They have the Pratana yoga. They have the different steps. They itemize it like a PowerPoint presentation, dude. This part you're doing it for doing problem solving. This part you're doing it for breathing into the tummy. This part you're going, and then in this state, you feel the consciousness through your nose. This is a systemic technology, right?
And it works pretty much universally, depending on if you do it, it will work.
Oh yeah. It's there's a recipe. It's systemic. Yeah. Yoga is systemic.
When I first started doing hot yoga, like one of the last, because it's all the same series of pivot, right? 28 different poses. I think the second to the last pose, where you sit up and you have to go. Right, blow from the stomach like that, dude. I was like maybe 4 or 5 sessions in, and I had to go throw up when I did that. And I don't know what came out of me, but after that session where I threw up, every session after that was easy.
Oh, it's totally.
Like I had a ball of
a knot of nerves or something.
Something that just needed to come out. You know what I mean?
That breathing, that quick breathing will get you high.
Yeah.
That would put you in a different state for sure, man.
Exactly.
The rhythm of oxygen intake. This rhythm of oxygen intake in out and the way it affects the thoughts in the brains, right? In the brain, it totally it's true. I mean, so you can practice this, right? you can definitely achieve states.
My office, even though I went from 3 spots to 1 big spot, right? So I put all of the desks along the walls, right? And I still have a big open space in the middle. So I don't know, man. I was thinking about actually contacting a yoga instructor and seeing if I can't give classes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the gym, we're in the same building as the gym, and there are weeks when the gym doesn't even have a single yoga class.
Oh, really? Yeah. So what kind of yoga? What kind of yoga do you want to do?
Dude, I can't do hot yoga, man. I can't. I mean, I guess I can, man, but fuck, man, I'd have to heat the whole goddamn office up to 115 degrees just to get it to work.
So what's the point? Why? So here's the thing. Back to that, to get it to work, right? You need to get down to sort of more pinpoint what that is you're trying to get to work, right? So hot yoga isn't the only way to do this sort of stuff.
No, you can do a lot of different kind of yoga. I mean, but like I said, if I wanted to do Bikram, because Bikram is good, man. I mean, the thing is, it takes about an hour to an hour and a half, right, to get through it all. And the fact that the heat is on, it really accelerates the benefit.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's like, but the thing is a bit like you can get in a state where you need this device here to do that, which isn't really true actually, right? And that's why people don't work out. Like people buy jumpsuits and the gym membership to go run. They never go, right?
Yeah.
There are these trappings that you can do, but the more important point is what it is you want to try to achieve, right?
Yeah.
And what you're trying to do. So I mean, it doesn't have to be.
Yeah. Maybe I could put an ad in for a yoga instructor. Maybe somebody, and then split the.
I mean, so typically nowadays here, these instructors are becoming more like they have their own sort of group that they bring with them. So basically,
really?
Yeah, pretty much. Like so, basically, they might they already have 5 students or something like that. So they'll come in. They've already done 5 students. They're using your space, and you bring in more people, right? So it becomes a people start developing a following with some of this stuff.
Yeah. Makes sense, man.
Yeah. But it's still all this stuff, man. I mean, like the expansion and stuff. I mean, there's more to it than just entertainment, right? Part of it is trying to sort of understand how does it work into what it is you're trying to do. Now, I think with all of us, this is for all of us, right? We all have problems that we always have problems in life. That's just life, right?
Yeah, of course.
There's always something to solve, but the thing is to apply it towards solving those issues, right?
Yes.
And solving those issues come in 2 ways. You either say, "Oh, here I'm going to untangle it," or sometimes you let it go, right? And it untangles itself, which is really what happens most of the time,
Yep.
I think that's what yoga really teaches: the letting go and it untangles.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of this problem solving in yoga happens in that way, where you get beyond the problem, that the problem becomes so irrelevant and it can't stick on you anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
you outgrow it.
Yeah. The thing is, like, for example, when it comes up, it might still come up, but you don't let it stick to you. You don't react. It doesn't give you a reaction. It doesn't do anything. It has no reason being around anymore. It's like, fuck it, Devin. You don't want to play with this problem anymore. I'm leaving, right? I mean, which is what happens, right? It's like, I mean, I get this a lot sometimes. Like when my kids were growing up, they would have like certain issues in drama they would play on, but you always need a drama of a victim and oppressor, right? Right? Yeah. It's a role setup, right? But I found out that if you don't actually play it, it goes away because it doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah.
So if you're an oppressor right now, and you have victims. All of a sudden, it's like, wait a second. Actually, you know what? We're not playing today, right? What? What do you mean? What do you mean you're not playing today, Devin? I'm oppressed here, right? No. We're gonna play. Come on, let's go get something to eat. What? Totally throws the shit off of it, and diffuses the whole thing. All of a sudden, it's like, what wasn't I supposed to be a victim here, right? You know, all of a sudden you keep doing it enough. It's like, all right, this victim shit doesn't really work, does it? Right.
Yeah.
But the more, if you know, if the whole conversation is like, look, I'm a victim. It's like, no, you're not, and I'm not an oppressor, and you're spending the time arguing the issue, right?
Yeah.
It has a reason to be around, right?
That's what puts the wind in their sails.
Yeah, because look, he's reacting, you know. It looks like he's irritated. Oh, look, it's hitting him. We're hitting the spot now, right? Yeah. what if it's like, oh, wait a second, he's laughing. That's not the spot. Yeah. That I think that's what, you know. I think yoga that's really how yoga breaks out most of the time. You know, the thetans, the L. Ron Hubbard thetans that are sticking on you, right?
Oh, the fate, yeah.
The thetans, right? Because of the you know, that you can detect them with your e-meter, right? You know?
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, look, we spotted thetan on there, right? Same thing. Like when you let go of those issues, right? They supposedly fall off of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
The thetans, you know, that when you hit a mark, oh, okay, so you have an issue with sharp objects, right? You know, but when you let it go and you're not hitting the e-meter anymore, the thetans, it's because it doesn't.
Because the energy's been dispersed.
Yeah, there's no reason for it to be around anymore.
The memory is dispelled.
Yeah, exactly. Dispelled, and there's no reason for its existence anymore, right? You know.
And then what happens as a result of that is, and this is probably why they tend to only associate with each other, is what happens as a result of that is you become more of an open book, and you become a kind of person that is more free to discuss things that other people would find way too personal.
Yeah, this personal or what happens is that when it's not impacting you, it's not inflicting any discomfort on you. It makes you look insensitive.
Right. It sure does.
Yeah. It's like, wait a second. Oh, what an asshole. He doesn't give a fuck. Right. You know? Exactly. That's what it is. Right? Instead of saying, oh, good, I'm glad he's feeling good. Right. It's like, wait a second.
That's supposed to hurt.
I'm feeling discomforted. And what the hell are you laughing about? Right. Why are you smiling?
I'm feeling discomfort about your problem that doesn't bother you.
Yeah.
Dude, and you know, when I first started doing videos about this stuff, well, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't even say that online.
We're still on TV. Maybe they're watching.
I know, well, I mean, that's kind of what happened. I had a couple of really serendipitous, kind of more than coincidental encounters where I met, very friendly people, but people that were part of that church. You know, and when I stopped going, they didn't like it.
Because here's another thing too. I mean, this is where you know the difference, though, right? It depends on what you're crediting the thing to. Because if you say it is working for me, right, then it really isn't you anymore, right?
Right, and
it's disempowering. It's disempowering, Devin.
And well, the basic thing is, it's the same thing with hypnosis, right? You can bring yourself back. Once a person brings you back, once you go back in your memories, right? There's nothing stopping you from doing that yourself.
But yeah. Why? Okay. Why do you want to do this? I mean, what's the purpose of it?
It's the same thing that people go to therapy for, right? Right? You air your shit out until there's no more energy attached to it.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, yeah, maybe they have some reason, something that's bothering them, supposedly, or something. I don't know.
Well, I mean, you know, the thing is, right? Everything that we experience is an echo of something that we either experienced or we saw before we were 8 or 9 years old.
Yeah, gotcha. I understand what you're saying. So I agree with that, man. I think
when you had no critical faculty and you were in 7 Hertz theta, that's when you were being scripted.
So here's the thing, Devin. This is what I would say to that, though. Right? I think that you're actually right if you can't figure out why you're doing what you're doing, right? I mean, I can see that. Yeah. If you can't figure out why is it that I'm not doing what I'm doing, if that's the issue, like, well, I should sort of. But half the problem is just because you're choosing not to do what, or you're choosing to do what you're doing, right? And so I think there's sometimes there's a lot of external factors ascribing some sort of judgment on that, right?
Right.
Which may not actually be the bad thing. It's just that some group doesn't like it or something, or you may not like it, or you feel like it's causing problems because of this issue, right? But the question actually is maybe more a purpose, right? Maybe this is aligned to a particular purpose. If you were actually more focusing on what the actual purpose is and aligning the things that you do to a purpose, not to the thing itself, right? These are just superfluous events, right?
Well, what I'm noticing, and I'm gonna be honest with you, what I'm noticing is that like I'll sit down and do, I swear, man, 6, 7, 8 hours straight on the ionic foot detox. Look, these are burn marks, man, from the strap. These are burn marks from the electron from the grounding strap.
Okay.
Right, from the grounding strap on the ionic foot detox, because I'll do marathon sessions, and when you're not only purging toxins, but you're also filling the body with negative ions, and you will be surprised how that changes you, right? And especially if a similar ionic experience happens when you are putting the magnets on yourself, right? But that's a zero-sum game because you're using pairs of magnets, positive and negative. That's a zero-sum game. Whereas the ionic foot detox is actually filling your body with negative ions. Dude, I killed most of this and didn't even feel a hangover. Okay, look at the bottom. I'm very serious. And I hadn't had alcohol I didn't drink at all in the whole year.
So what's a purpose though? That
wait. So that's on the physical side. So you go, okay, if I had a big PEMF generator, like the kind that they use on horses, and I'm going to buy one for my clinic, right? That would get the same thing that the ionic foot detox does, but it will do it in 15 minutes, right? Because what you're doing is you're blasting your body with negative ions. It gives you energy. It gives your energy, and it helps your everything. It helps the way all your organs operate and everything. Because we're electric beings or whatnot. Okay, that PEMF and HBOT and neural feedback with the other type of brain therapies, right? I don't know if you want to call it anti-aging, because I don't know. I don't think.
Okay, I got you. I see. Okay, that you said it right there. So basically, you're looking at ways for health issues.
An overall quality of life, right?
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a big term. What quality is for someone, but really, what you're talking about is your biological, physiological health issues, right? To make sure that you're feeling well and
emotional. Because you can't do the body without the brain. You can't do the brain without the mind.
Right. Yeah.
So that gets us into philosophy. That gets us into religion. That gets us into things like love and art.
But okay, so the thing is though, back to like what do you want to do that for? That because you just want to live? Is it longevity? You want to live longer? You want to feel better?
I want to start a religion and screw all the young girls.
Yeah. But dude, here's the thing, all these devices you have, but look at Muji, dude.
I know, just with his mouthpiece. That's it. A robe, a pair of sandals, and and a few words of wisdom, baby. Yeah, that's all you need.
Exactly, right?
Spit some game and let your hair grow. Let your dreadlocks grow.
Yeah, right.
You know, and just do you. And then,
no, seriously though, but you need to figure out. I mean, this is. I mean, what is it that you're trying to achieve, right? I mean, is it really like do Muji stuff, or you know?
You know what I'm thinking is personally, you know, if I at 57 feels this good, and it's a subjective thing, but it does feel good, man. It feels really, really good. And yo, man, I haven't even been working out. Bam, I haven't been working out. I haven't gone running. You know, this is just ions. This is just ions. You know what I mean? And so I'm thinking, well, damn, man. You know, I could keep doing this personally, and if I don't get run over by a bus, you know, live until 90. And I could.
Yeah, sure. No. Okay, look. Sabine's grandpa was around 95. I mean, he still used to ride the bike, right? You know,
he was 95 because he rode the bike.
Yeah, exactly, right. But I guess what I'm saying is like one of the most difficult things, right? Well, maybe I shouldn't even be questioning why, right? But it's a good thing you understand what is it you're doing. I do realize, look, it's the time you're spending with Kai and stuff, right?
Well, life is its own reward. See, what I'm thinking is this, right? If I can, and this is what it's getting close to right now, the reality, our peers are retiring, right?
Oh yeah. Okay.
I don't want to retire. I don't want to stop what I'm doing and then try to figure out what to do.
Yeah, that's right. That's actually people go downhill when they retire. You're absolutely right. You want to actually keep that engine running, right?
That you can do comfortably until you drop dead.
Yeah, that's really the way to go. Hey, listen, I really have to go, man. It's 3:30 here now, so I only didn't want to say that. Good to talk to you, man. Thanks for the call. I like that. All right, talk to you soon. Bye.
Peace, man. Peace. That was my man. That was a good conversation. Thanks, Marco. Marco and I go way back here in LA. I don't even think he wants me to tell y'all. But thanks to everyone. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Thanks for Bobby Steels for joining us. I want you to subscribe to this channel, hit the bell for notifications, please, and look for the other Devin Lockett channel. Subscribe to both of them. I have a lot of good information about health, holistic health, and wellness. A lot of the subjects that we discussed this evening. And also look for my son's channel, Kai Lockett, right? YouTube.com/Kai Lockett. He is an up-and-coming holistic health guru like his daddy. And I really appreciate everybody for joining. I really appreciate all the participation. And remember, stay kind, because kind is not only the new sexy, kind is the only sexy. Stay blessed and stay healthy. God bless you.